Hey there, welcome again or welcome back to Cooking with Kenny G. If this is your first time, I guess welcome. If you've seen my videos before, welcome back. Now on today's video, I'm gonna show you how to make these fantastic Kenergy Crunch Bars, not Kenergy Balls. Check the video up here. Watch that one, you'll see how to make Kenergy Balls. Anyway, these are Kenergy Crunch Bars. Now they are sweetened with agave syrup. Now they've got a lower glycemic index, and if you're just gonna put sugar in there, so good for people with diabetes or with hypoglycemia. There's nuts in there, lots of protein in the nuts. There's nut butter. You got protein from that too. There's some dried fruit in there to give you a little bit of energy. Again, not too much sugar in that. They're high in fiber, some omegas in there. These things are super healthy. I think they are a superfood. I'm tooting my own horn. I'm going to show you how to do it. Make these yourself, and then you won't have to go to the store and buy protein bars. It's going to save you a bunch of money. All right, so pitter patter, let's get at her. Put on the apron, grab the knives, fire up the stove, and get after it. Too far away again. I got to change the camera angle. I forgot to mention one thing in the intro. Down below, click on the link. I'm going to leave a PDF recipe of this video that we're doing, and then you can print it off, make yourself your own cookbook. Put it in these little protective sleeves. Perfect. You can wipe them off when you get it dirty. So let's get to it. Now the first thing you're gonna wanna do is preheat that oven to 350 degrees because you're gonna have to roast the nuts. Unless you already have roasted nuts, then just omit this step. So 350, gonna get them on the baking tray, get them in the oven, then I'm gonna assemble all my equipment and then get all my ingredients together. I will explain to you what you need though for the nuts and how much. All right, we'll get that preheating. I'm gonna get the nuts measured out. So what you're gonna need for this, or at least what I have, is 255 grams. I know it's a pretty precise number, but I did measure it out, or 2 cups of nuts. Now your choice. I'm gonna use sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. I also have some Brazil nuts, some pecans, some walnuts, just kind of a mix of nuts. So, you know, it's up to you what you wanna do, just as long as you do about 2 cups or 250 grams of roasted nuts. I already got my baking sheet here with my Silpat on. I've got my mixture of nuts here. Like I say, I've got some sunflower seeds in here. Now sunflower seeds, high in vitamin E, got magnesium in them, healthy fats in them. I have several kinds of nuts in here too, health benefits of those. Obviously there's protein, there's good fiber in those. There's lots of minerals. It's gonna help support your brain function, which is a good thing. Those are gonna go in the oven now. I'm gonna check them about every 5 minutes, so I wanna roast them, get them a nice brown color. Now another reason for doing that too is to increase the flavor in them. Raw nuts just aren't as good as a roasted nut, just the flavor isn't as developed in there. Then we're gonna get the equipment together and I'm gonna run you through the ingredients, or you know that fancy French word I like to use, mise en place. Let's get that going. Okay, well, first things first, again, as with all my other videos, if you haven't seen before, then I'm gonna run it through. You're gonna need all your equipment. So let's go through the list of equipment that you're gonna need. I got a rolling pin. I have a baking sheet with Silpat on there. That's just a silicone mat that you can use, or if you have parchment paper, you can use that. I love this silicone paper. It is reusable, washable, oven proof, freezer proof. I got an old relic here, the food processor. Yours doesn't have to be a museum piece like mine. Digital scale. Again, I like to weigh things out, but you can use your measuring spoons and your measuring cups. You need a couple of small bowls or dishes to put your ingredients in. Maybe a rubber spatula, you might need that. And another piece of equipment that you may need, but not necessary. If you have one, great. Stand mixer, you can use that for mixing, or just, you can mix it by hand. I'll show you how to mix it by hand. So that's equipment that you're gonna need, not a whole lot. And now I'm gonna run you through the ingredients that you need. I use a combination of peanut butter and almond butter. Now these are both all natural, no sugar in these. So you're gonna need 285 grams or a cup of the mixed nut butter. Again, you can just use almond butter if you want, or you can mix the two, or you can just do straight peanut butter if you want. Make sure you use the no sugar and natural. 3/4 cup or 225 grams of organic agave syrup. Now the agave syrup is a sweetener in this. It has a lower glycemic index in it than if you just use raw sugar, anywhere from 2 to 6 times lower glycemic. So this is actually good for people who have problems with diabetes or with hypoglycemia. And also too, good thing to know. This is vegan. I have 175 grams or about a cup and a half of dried fruit. Now you can use whatever dried fruit you want. I have some dried apricots, there's dried figs, I have some dates in there, I've got some dried cranberries. Now, one of the things to remember, make sure you do not get the sugar added. We're gonna try and keep the glycemic index down on these things, so no added sugar. Health benefits from these. It's got potassium in there, which is good for your blood health. Now, they're high in fiber, which helps with your digestion. You know what else that does too, and it's got a lot of fiber in it. It's good for you though. You're gonna need that. The nuts have been in for 15 minutes. I've been checking them kind of every 5 minutes, so I'm gonna get them out now because I know they look good. So I'm gonna let these cool down while I get all the other ingredients together, and then I'm gonna show you what I do with these. Nicely roasted, nicely browned, looking good, smelling great, and the flavor in these is gonna be increased nicely. Now this is where that crispy part, or the crunchy part of these energy bars comes from. I'm not gonna say what name this is, don't wanna get any trademark issues. I'm not selling them anyway. So about 7 cups or 175 grams of the aforementioned, not named breakfast cereal. That is crispy rice. Figure that one out. 2.5 grams or half a teaspoon of kosher or sea salt. I'm gonna use kosher salt in this one. When I do sweet stuff, I like to put a little salt in there. Everybody likes that sweet salty. That's kind of the flavor du jour now anyway. 2 mils, half a teaspoon of cinnamon. 12 mils or 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now I'm gonna add in cocoa nibs. Now what these are just the dried, fermented, crushed cocoa nibs. So basically where chocolate comes from. No sugar in these. It's gonna add that kind of intense, nutty, chocolatey flavor without adding any sweetness into these bars. Just go to a health food store or maybe a local grocery store. I'll have them just organic cocoa nibs. 25 grams, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. Now, chia seeds, again, lots of health benefits with these. Omega-3 fatty acids, good for the heart, good for the blood, good for the health. Now it's time for the assembly. So let's get those 7 cups of the crispy rice cereal treat in a bowl. Then what we're gonna do is take those nuts, gonna put them in the food processor, and we're gonna pulse those up. You're just gonna wanna pulse these up so they're like a coarse crumb. You don't wanna turn them into dust because you want a little bit of texture in your Kenergy bars. Sorry, Kenergy Crunch bars. So we'll just give that a little pulse. There we go, just like that, a rough crumb. And I'm gonna add those in to the Rice Krispies. It's time to get the fruit ready. Now what I like to do is we're gonna pulse it in the food processor. I'm just gonna cut some of the bigger pieces up a little bit so they chop up nicely in there. Dried fruit into a food processor, especially this amount, it is gonna be just banging around, making a heck of a noise. So I got a little tip for you. Microwave, gonna give it about 20 seconds or so. Just soften it up so the blades can cut into it. These are good, they warmed up a little bit so they'll go in the food processor and they're not gonna destroy my food processor. This thing is pretty old. Just get the fruit in there. I'm not gonna wanna puree this fruit, I just wanna chop it up. There's salt in there too. And that'll help break it up a little bit. Again, just pulse it, don't turn it on full blast. Yeah, that looks pretty good now. I just want small pieces. Cinnamon goes in there. I'm gonna add in my cocoa nibs now. Chia seeds. Let's add in that dried fruit. And then grab a spatula, give it a little bit of a mix, then I'm gonna add in the vanilla and the other wet ingredients. There we go, just mix that around slightly. Break up some of those little pieces of fruit that are in there. If you want, you can get your hands in there. Now we're gonna add in the nut butter and the agave syrup. Now another tip, I'm gonna heat up the nut butter. Reason for that is it's gonna incorporate well with the other dry ingredients. 20 seconds at a time. It's gonna be a little bit more liquid this way so it'll incorporate well with the dry ingredients. All right, 20 seconds. That is not what I want yet. And get it a little bit hotter. Let's give it 30 seconds this time. 2 more seconds. 1 and ready. Perfect. That is good. Yeah, it's fairly liquid. I'm gonna add my agave syrup into that now too. That way the agave syrup's gonna mix well too with the peanut butter and with the dry ingredients. Mix it slowly though, you don't wanna spill it. Bowl is hot. Add that in. It's gonna give that a mix. Don't forget to add the vanilla in there also. I almost did. All right, now we just give that a mix. Make sure you mix in all those ingredients well, get down to the bottom. Otherwise you're gonna have wet spots in there. Now, if you do this with the stand mixer, it's obviously gonna mix a lot quicker. Now all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put it onto the baking sheet and then have some fun with the rolling pin. There's a little tip right there, wet rag on the bottom so this doesn't slide around because we're gonna wanna be pinning that out. A little bit of pan spray on there just so it releases from the edges. Just get that mixture on there and then time to start rolling. Spread it out. Obviously you can see I don't have enough to fill this pan. Ever-present blue scraper. You can just pull it a little bit closer, tighten it up, roll it into those corners. Take your blue scraper, press it down on the edges, press it into the corners, tighten it up a little bit again more. You can spread it with that scraper if you want, if you have a scraper. Push that all into the corner. Keep it nice and tight. There you go. That's done. Take it off the edges of the pan so it's square. These pans are a little bit curved on the edges. Then when you cut your bars, you already have a square side on them. Another little roll there to even it out. Okay, there they are, all pressed down. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these in the fridge. I'm not gonna cover them because they are still a little bit warm. If I cover them up, they're gonna get a little bit soggy. Put them in the fridge for probably about 2 hours, let them chill really good. And then we're gonna cut them and enjoy them. So we'll see you in a few hours. The bars have set up quite nicely, so it's time to cut them. I like to use a serrated knife. Cuts through the Rice Krispies and the hardened fruit a little bit better than if you were to just use a straight edge knife. And also I've got a ruler just to make the lines nice and smooth. Try and figure out how big you want your bar. If you have parchment paper, just take the parchment paper out or slide it off the Silpat. Make a straight edge first and work from that. So these right here are just gonna be sample pieces. Keep you fueled and motivated. It's up to you how big you want to make these bars. I'm probably just going to cut them this width here. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that from there, but the crunching of these is really nice. And then just continue on till you're done here, and then I will show you the other cuts. Now I got 21 bars out of this batch here, and then this was an 11.5 by 14.5 pan metric. I'm not going to do that conversion. They're sold by the inches anyway. Now what you can do with these if you want, just wrap them, put them in the fridge, or you can wrap them individually, freeze them, and then just throw them in your lunch bag when you're heading off to work or school or whatever it is. But these energy bars, I guarantee you're going to love them. Hey, thanks again so much for watching my channel and the video. I hope I kept you entertained. I hope you learned something again. And you've also made some energy bars that are gonna save you a bunch of money. Like I say, 21 bars here that we made. You probably get a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on how big you cut them. But you go to the store and you buy energy or protein bars, they're gonna be about $3 or $4 each. So I don't know what's the math on that, like $80 worth. It did not cost $80 to make these. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Take your spatula, smash that subscribe button. Enjoy these bad boys. They are so, or bad girls, whatever you want to call them. They are so good. So I'm going to tuck in one of these. And again, thanks again. I hope you make them. You're going to enjoy them. Trust me.